everyone, and welcome back to more Mystic Destinies Echoes. We are back for more of this game. Yes, we are back for chapter 4 right now. Yes, if I remember correctly. I don't know, my memory's shit anyways, but last episode what happened was we had our meeting with Detective Moon. He basically gave us a rundown on the fact that, well, he didn't really give us a rundown, but like he gave us a rundown, or he told us that he was indeed the person. He's on the case about on this whole cultist thing. So he's working on the case. Unfortunately, he hasn't really gotten much progress with it, only because his means, like his legal means of getting information, is not like it's not helping, and that's why he's reaching out towards us and our little motley crew of like sus people to like that are involved or like are kind of like related to the cults now to get information. And he's holding you know, potential crimes and arrests that we're involved in order to have our get our cooperation basically. Also, he sprung up on the fact that Pax, our friend, was involved with the recent murder, the murder that she committed, and that same morning. So he's just like, okay, you're the prime suspect here. It's either you help me crack down on this cult case, or or you face, or you're at risk of being arrested for these other potential crimes that you're committing. If you help out, then I'll help you guys out to not end up in jail for these other miscellaneous crimes basically. So a majority of us obviously agreed to it. I thought it was like it made sense because we're all involved now, and we're kind of working towards the same goal, so we might as well just like work together. But Pax, obviously, she's like no, she's straight up like, hell no, I don't want to get involved with this. I'm peacing out. I'm peacing out. And we got mad at that because we're like, Pax, this is like, you sort of caused this problem too. You're part of this big problem as well. Why are you backing out and leaving all this mess? Leaving all this mess for us to deal with. So she had a bit of a falling out. She also tried, she kind of was like, oh, you don't trust me as well too, like you automatically assume that I am the murderer for this murder case that I am suspected in. And we're just like, well, like, we're friends, we're best friends, yeah, but like you kind of have a bit of a bad streak, and it's not like, so it's like, like, it's not that I don't trust you, it's just that you have a bad streak. You have a knack for getting into these sorts of things, so I can't help but assume or think that it's most likely true than not. So she tried to kind of pin us on that, but it didn't really work. We kind of know from her arguing, we know what she was trying to do, and it's more or less like her like sort of coping mechanism, her defense mechanism of like running away from her problems basically. So she takes off. We're upset by it because she's done this multiple times, and we sort of feel guilty because we've been friends with her for so long, but also at the same time we're upset because this bad habit of hers, like, we're always getting the short end of the stick whenever it happens. So yeah, we get upset. We go retire for the day. We get to the option to kind of get closer to one of the guys, and then I chose to go or pursue Naoki. Yeah, Naoki, because he's one of my favorite dudes. And so in the next morning, we hang out with him. He makes us breakfast. He comforts us, and it gives us good advice on how to deal with Pax and what she's going through. Also telling us that it's not our fault because people like people like her, we don't like, she doesn't realize that her problems and the way that she handles it not only affects her but also like the people around her, and she just needs like time to herself to like possibly grow up from it, or to, if she doesn't, then it's best to just cut her off from our life because people like that are not healthy for us. And it's just the hard truth to like take in, but it's the truth. It's real facts. But anyways, yeah, so we have breakfast. We got a little bit of interactions with Naoki, and we're like seeing like, oh, he seems to be really super interested in us more than just acquaintances or colleagues or past colleagues, because we did have that relationship, but it's just like we never really knew what his like true intention was. And then we get called into the office, the police department, by Detective Moon. We take Naoki with us as like precautions and just to kind of go along. Um, we run into one of the cult members. Almost got attacked. Naoki saved us. He was almost gonna kill the guy like cold blood on the street, but we're like, no, we can't because we're right outside the police station. Two, it wouldn't look good. Like, there's no need. So we take him into custody, and Naoki apologizes because he kind of manhandled us a bit because he was trying to like push us out of the way, and he's also like, sorry, I had to like show this really awful side to me of nearly killing somebody with cold blood in front of you. And we're like, no, it's fine. So we meet I think a detective, I forgot her name, I'm so sorry, but she had red hair. She's like one of the assistants for Detective Moon, and she was kind of briefly telling us about what's going down with Detective Moon and his involvement with the case, how like saying that he's having trouble with finding information because, the right methods of getting information is not working out, so he's just had to sort of on the low key kind of like get people who are in that shady sort of business information exchanging in order to get something more of a lead. And then Detective Moon shows up. He was like out of his office before. Takumi's brother shows up as well too to talk more about that case, and then it turns out Detective Moon has an assignment for us, and that's to talk to one of our friends, the succubus, I think. Yeah, she was at the bar in the very beginnings of this chapter. She's kind of like an acquaintance of us, like not really close friend, but someone we knew. But either way, it turns out she's involved with the cultists as well too, and Detective Moon wants us to infiltrate into the group in order to get information. So we have to approach her, talk to her about the cult stuff, and then fake out being like, oh, I want to join. How do I do that kind of thing and see what their goals are, basically. That's it. That's our briefing. We had to basically lie to our friend, our like, I guess, not close, again, not close friend, but like an acquaintance, a person that we know, in order to get information. We're kind of like, okay, yikes, okay, but we gotta do what we gotta do. With that, it is what it is. And yeah, so that's it. That's the meeting, and yeah, so I guess we go back to the Okura mansion. That's where we are. Let's go. So the two make it back to the Okura mansion, and the rest of the day passes by uneventfully. The next day, three people sit at a popular cafe in Chowa to discuss the Cult of Muir. Okay. Oh, hey, it's that cafe. I forgot his name, but yeah, that's his mom. What would you like to order? Chisaki, yeah. Naoki sits beside me, his hands clasped thoughtfully. For once, I'm not the one on the end of his piercing, observing gaze. He shifts his eyes slightly from Cherizel to the blue-haired woman. Oh, we're with Cherizel. Yeah, Cherizel's the succubus, our friend, acquaintance that was at the bar that we have to lie and interrogate. Just a coffee. Black? All black? Please add as much sugar and creamer as you can. Oh, no! Interesting. He doesn't take black. He doesn't take black coffee. That's sweet. I mean, I don't know. I would assume he would because, he's this dark, brooding vampire sort of person, but now he's like, I can't drink black coffee, and I can't do it either. Yay, we have the same taste. The blonde-haired woman who had introduced herself as Chisaki giggles. No need to be shy. I'm not the biggest fan of bitter taste either. And for you ladies, I'll have some oolong tea. Oh yes, black tea for me, please. Yes. Coming right up. Alright. The bright lady leaves, almost floating away. She's so light on her feet. She could be a sylph. Nope, she's a dragon. Cherizel had agreed to meet with me when I hinted that I wanted to talk about joining her organization, quote quote. Pretty clear she doesn't want to leave a paper trail. Naoki is the one who has come with me today in hopes of meeting the researcher himself. Right, yeah, the researcher. That's the one thing I was kind of confused on, or I can't really remember on, is that if Cherizel was in touch with the researcher for the Cult of Muir, or she's the researcher herself. Like, they're not two separate people. So yeah, whatever. I think they're two separate people. I've heard the cafe we're at almost never has any trouble because of the powerful dragons here. Okay. So I suggested that So I suggested it as a safe place to meet, right? So you heard about me from a friend? Yeah, sort of. Well, when I asked about joining the organization, I was given your name. I suppose that does make sense. Yeah. You must have asked someone in my faction. Faction? Wow. So, Takumi was right. There has been some infighting. Yeah. You're the leader of one of those? Yeah. It's a recent thing, but yes. So it's all true. Cherizel really is in this cult, and she's even one of the leaders. Wow, so she's been in it for a while then. I feel betrayed somehow, but I maintain a straight face and keep listening, right? The leader and I don't see eye to eye on the way they're running things. It turned out there were other people who agreed with me. So, what are your beliefs then? Yeah, if you don't mind me asking. I don't mind. I'd love it if everyone was able to hear about the true words of Muir. Okay, true words. Alright, go ahead. That's why we're preaching about it everywhere we can. Okay. You say Muir. That's a god, isn't it? Yeah, it is a god. Sherry nods. Yeah, Cherizel, Sherry. Yes, our kind yet sadly forgotten god of the seas and storms, Muir. Okay. So, what does Muir teach exactly? We've learned that Atlantis is a promised land. Okay. The prophecy says that finding it will bring about a golden age full of peace and happiness. We'll all be protected by Muir. How do you guys know all of that? Ancient text. I don't know. You said it was a prophecy? Yeah. Sherry nods again. Muir speaks directly to Rohan, who started the cult, okay? The others who didn't join my faction are under Rohan now. Muir gave Rohan a prophecy. It says if we spread Muir's name and find Atlantis, that he will gain power. Then he'll be able to use his powers to bring about that golden age and protect us for eternity. Okay, sounds nice. It sounds fancy. Okay, well, yes, great, yeah. So then, why are these people out here attacking people like me? They're trying to find Atlantis, but the way they're going about it isn't something I agree with. Well, that's nice to hear. My faction teaches peace and compassion, like Muir did. Simply put, we don't like all the chaos and violence that has been going on. Okay, a dear friend of mine was killed in all of this mess. That was the final straw for me. Ooh, who's the friend? Rohan has gone insane. Rohan, they even tried to attack me. Oh, they did? Wow, that sucks. Are you alright? Yes, thanks to Muir. Yeah, he saved me. Okay. How did he save you? Cherizel speaks in a dreamy voice. Muir, he took over Rohan's body, restrained them. I'd never seen that happen before, but Cherizel's eyes sparkled distantly before refocusing on us. Rohan needs to be stopped before they hurt anyone else. What about your faction? Can't they take Rohan down? Cherizel shakes her head, looking down. We're nowhere near strong enough. Besides that, we're pacifists. Almost everyone that stayed under Rohan are violent and mentally unstable. I don't know why the Sea Lord chose to speak to Rohan, or if he's still with them. I just have to have faith that he'll save his most faithful and set things right. That's why we have to continue to spread his true words. Okay. Hey, it's Tatsuya! That's his name, Tatsuya. Here are your drinks. Yeah. A grumpy-looking young man with an opposite feeling of the woman from earlier arrives. He sets each one of our drinks on the table. We all take them at once, choosing to sip our drinks and fall quiet in his presence. Judging by the hair, I bet they're related. Yeah. Actually, this guy seems familiar. Yeah. I don't know too many young people, though. Yeah. Maybe I've seen him with Takumi? Oh, yeah. Is your order alright? Yes. Yep. Everything's all good. Yes, thank you. Mm-hmm. With a brief nod, the young man strides away. Everyone refocuses their attention on each other. About Rohan. What if we were to join you and stop them? Naoki? I mean, that's one way to get in. Jinsel did tell us our goal was to gain as much info as we could, no matter what we had to do to gain Sherry's trust. Still, they didn't mention this crazy violent people faction. I've been trying to avoid them, but joining up to fight them, well, it's either they're gonna come fight us or we gotta go fight them. It doesn't really matter. It's all the same. It's going straight into the lion's den. Still, Naoki doesn't do things without reason. And keeping your enemies close is a good idea, in theory at least, so I don't stop him. Yeah. Stop them? Do you really think you could do that? Well, we've got powerful friends. So, you'd be using violence. I can't condone that. Joining me means you practice pacifism. Bah. I can see we're losing her, so I decide to jump in. Then what if we agreed to just work with you, outside of the group? But why would you do that? You'd be in danger. I shrug. They're already a danger to everyone, right? We don't want things to get any worse. Even still, if I work with you, wouldn't I be helping to perpetuate that violence? Sherry, we're not out to kill them if possible. We're trying to save lives. The last part comes out more passionately than I'd intended, but I realize that it's true. The thought of these violent people silently taking over Trowa, no, maybe even Japan, is a terrifying one. So, if there's anything we can do to help... Cherizel looks away silently. I can tell she doesn't know what to do, and probably doesn't entirely trust us either. Well, we are popping out of the blue, offering to solve all of her problems for her. Through a morally questionable method at that. Anyone with half a brain would be suspicious of our intentions. Naoki leans across the table, intently staring into her eyes. Oh, no. Oh, there we go. Sorry, I hit that too far. At the very least, we'd like to find out more about Atlantis. We want to know everything we can find about. We want to know everything we can find out about this prophecy and about Muir. Maybe there's some way we can help that way, even indirectly. I can't do anything unless I have the knowledge first, though. After a moment of more silence, Cherizel finally speaks. Then, there's someone who should be useful to you. Knowing her, she's probably still a Hagiwara right now, actually. She? Who, have we met this person before? Although it is after hours. It won't be a problem. Yeah, he's a teacher there. He's a faculty. I work there. I can get us in. Who's it? Her name is Mai Lorenz. Ah, I know of her. A researcher. Oh, is she the researcher? Yes, she knows everything about Atlantis. Oh, Cherizel pulls out her phone, checks it, then quickly rises to her feet. If you don't mind, I've got to get going. It was nice speaking with you all. Oh, and Aurelia. What was Atlantis like? Huh? I shouldn't be surprised that Sherry knows, since the cult somehow figured it out. But the question catches me off guard, since I never told her myself. Thinking back to that brief time, I was just filled with terror. People with rose-tinted glasses never take well to the truth, though. I wasn't there very long. It was really dark, so we just decided to leave. I see. And do you remember the way there still? I shake my head. The navigator was someone else. It was a long time ago, too. I'm aware my words sound like excuses even to me, but there's nothing else I can do. I'm never going back there again. Yeah, that place, it isn't meant to be found. I thought as much. That's why there's no reason to be attacking you, I told Rohan. Well, I'm off then. Good luck, you two. Okay, bye. Setting some money on the table, Cherizel gives us a small wave goodbye and leaves the cafe. I'm surprised but thankful that she bought my story. But if they know the navigator is Pax, okay. Will even Cherizel's faction go after her? I think so. I shoved my thoughts away. Pax isn't my problem anymore. I don't even know where the hell she is. Naoki and I lock eyes, and I can't resist sharing a grin at accomplishing our mission. Our first mission, yes. Yay! High five! We finish our drinks, pay, and head out to drive to Hagiwara University. Alrighty. When we go to Hagiwara, Naoki used his access code to get us into the university building. After walking through empty lobbies, we're now headed down to the basement where magical studies occur. What do you think about all this, Naoki? About the prophecy, the stuff she said about Mirror and the promised land. It's hard to say. Beliefs generally stem from some source. We'll need to find that source to have a more accurate perspective on the situation. Hopefully, our current efforts will prove fruitful on that front. I nod as the elevator dings and we step out into the hall. Okay, oh, it's dark. Led by Naoki, we made our way to the research department of the university. After talking with some of the few people there, we're directed to a dark archive room. We spot a woman's long purple hair as she crouches at a bookcase. Are you Mai Lorenz? Startling, the woman drops her book. She manages to fumble it back into her hands, then stands up. Hello. Yes? Who's asking? I'm Naoki Okura, a professor here at Hagiwara. Oh, Professor Okura. Yes, I've heard of you. Mai's eyes shift to me. This is my girlfriend, Dawn. Wow! Thanks! I almost give him a weird look, but I managed to stop myself. Yeah? Straight to being bae, even if it's fake. It's fake dating, you guys. Fake dating, AU. It's the simplest explanation for why I'm here. Yes, go with it, go with it. I nod my head, keeping my expression neutral. I'm thinking of doing some course content on Atlantis, and we're told that you're leading the authority on it. And I was told you're the leading authority on it. Could we ask you about it for a moment? I'm like so caught up by Naoki just being. I would make a terrible like undercover cop. I can't act like I seriously, all my emotions and all of my thoughts are just on my face. Like I can't. So could we ask you about it for a moment? Atlantis? Sure. I'm always happy to discuss it. What do you want to know, Professor? I'm impressed with how smoothly Naoki managed to get her to talk. I guess he does have social skills sometimes. I'm a bit concerned about the effortlessness with which he lied, though. As I'm sure you know, there's hardly anything of substance in the books. Everyone believes it's a myth, so there's nothing serious on it. And you? Do you believe it's a myth? We don't know what to believe. That's why we're asking you. That's why we're here asking you. I chime in, perhaps a bit too bluntly, and Mai looks down at me. She pushes her glasses up, looking from me to Naoki quietly. Naoki, however, yet again comes in clutch. Always coming in clutch. Yes, for example, I've heard that Muir was just a minor weak god. Yet, he was extremely feared by Atlanteans. There are so many contradictions, it's difficult to find the truth. Before Naoki even finishes his question, Mai's entire demeanor changes. That's absolutely untrue. Muir was a powerful god, absolutely beloved by Atlantean. Atlantis did exist, and it didn't just have advanced technology, but magic. Humans believe magic is so dangerous, but there's proof that Atlanteans thrived because of it. But no one wants to listen to that theory either. No one wants to believe the truth. Okay, aren't you known as the foremost expert on it, though? Yes, now that the magical department at Hagiwara has recognized my research. Oh. But the human world at large? They still believe Atlantis is just a myth. And most don't even know about Muir. It's disgusting behavior. Oh, ignoring something so wonderful that could enrich our understanding of ancient cultures. Okay. Do you have proof of Atlantis' existence? Of course I do. Yeah. Holding her book tight to her chest, Mai leans in as if she's spilling a secret. 5 years ago, I found artifacts like no others on the island of Mikurajima. Mikurajima? Okay. I feel like the music is kind of loud again. Like, at times it gets really loud. I don't know. Is it just me or is it just the music? They were in perfect condition, and what's more, they were completely different from the known culture of the islanders, or any culture in the surrounding islands. They were so distinctly different from anything else that I realized. They must have come from a lost civilization, not in our archives. Mai's shaking hands clutched her books, her fingernails digging into the cover. But because of their mint condition despite their age, and their unusual appearance, People thought that I had faked them. Some people said they may even be alien artifacts, but I got laughed at when I agreed that that might be possible. Well, yeah. Everyone thought I fell for a hoax or had created one. Despite all of my years of hard work, I became the laughingstock of my field. Oh, that sucks. I lost all hard-won credibility. I was stripped of my awards and honors and expelled, and was forced to withdraw from my human school. My pause is to take a deep breath. I mean, human school is boring. Come on, you landed a position in Hagiwara University that teaches magic. Come on. It was a good thing that I did, though, right? That's what gave me enough time to study the artifacts and find out that there was magic imbued in them. That's what got me working here at Hagiwara. Cool. And now you're a top expert on ancient magical civilizations. Right. That's right. In the end, all of my years of studying artifacts paid off. I knew magic was real. And my persistence has taught Hagiwara about civilizations across the world, across dimensions. Yes, good, congrats. But my heart is in Atlantis, okay? My trails off in a faraway voice that punctuates her words. To get her to refocus, I decide to stroke her ego a bit. It certainly seems true. You've already taught us more than any book has. There's no one who knows more about me than There's no one who knows more than me about Atlantis. Then, do you know about the Cult of Muir too? Cult? Oh, you mean that group of crazies shouting on the streets everywhere? Crazies. Yes, what do you think about them? They seem harmless enough. Nah. I mean, Muir has been dormant for years. They couldn't possibly really know what Muir wants. Dormant? You mean Muir exists? Yeah. he visited PAX, and that's what caused her to freak out. Making a conclusion from the prophecy, I believe so. Naoki's eyes glitter. The cultists speak of a prophecy, too. Do you know where we could read it? Of course. I have a copy of it, actually. Oh, nice. Could we see it? I don't see why not. Please wait here. I'll grab a copy from my desk. Okay. We nod and Mai goes off to parts unknown. Naoki and I once again lock eyes, but it doesn't feel safe to say anything here. We wait in silence for a few minutes until Mai comes back. So, there's two versions. One is in Atlantean, which no one can read. The other is in Latin. We believe some cultures knew Atlantean and had translated it into their language. Or they're two completely different prophecies, I don't know. She holds out a paper to Naoki and he takes it. Is there no translation into a language you could read? Actually, yes, I translated it myself. Yeah, it's on the back of that paper. Okay, cool. I glance at Naoki. His eyes scan the front of the paper, then he flips it to the back. Then he looks at Mai. This is what we were looking for. Thank you. Yeah, I'm just happy to help more people learn about a forgotten culture. Is there anything else you want to know about Atlantis? What about Muir? Do you know anything else about him? Just that he was a god protector of the city and was worshipped and loved by his people. Everything else I know is in that prophecy. All right, thanks. Mai nods and straightens her glasses. If that's all, then one last question. I'm curious about the necklace you're wearing. Oh, one of Mai's hands go to her chest, clutching the charm. What about my necklace? I just thought it looks unusual. I'm a purveyor of unique artifacts, you see. Is there a story behind it? I'm totally confused as to what Naoki's doing as usual. But when I look at the necklace more closely, I realize that there is something strange about it. It looks like it might be imbued by magic. With magic. Well, I love horses. I always have, actually. There was this one horse in particular I loved that lived in the forest near my childhood home. Okay. But my father kept me away from them, as he did with magic. Nonetheless, I went into the forest one day, but I fell in the river. There was this beautiful horse that saved me. I believe that it was actually a kelpie. A kelpie? A type of shape-shifting water spirit inhabiting Avalon. Usually takes on the appearance of a horse, but can take other forms. While some can seek companionship, some are malevolent. Sorry, that took me a while. Malevolent tricksters that take victims on a ride on their back into the water and drown or devour their victims. Their bridles are a source of magical power. Okay, cool. Interesting. It's a big part of why I love Atlantis and why I went on that trip looking for artifacts in the first place. I see. Atlanteans are known to befriend Kelpies, correct? Mai's eyes sparkle as she smiles. Yes, they revered them, and in return were allowed to ride them in their society. They have Kelpies outside of Avalon? Wow. I feel like Naoki must be thinking the same thing. Thank you for sharing that story. I think that's all for tonight. Okay, thank you for the information. Again, I'm glad for the opportunity to spread knowledge about Atlantis. Come visit me anytime. Okay. Okay. We say our goodbyes and leave the Hagiwara archive. Okay, off we go. Minutes later, we're in Naoki's car, back on the road to his mansion. Naoki, what do you think about everything we've heard tonight? There's definitely something off about all of this. Mai was so convinced that Muir was a protector and that he was beloved. Yet, his alleged followers are causing so many difficulties that now the SSU is involved. They could just be fanatics, though. You know how crazy people get when they love something a bit too much. Perhaps, but then there's Cherizel's pacifist faction. True. And Mai herself seemed a bit strange, didn't she? Yes, although there are plenty of researchers and knowledge seekers like her. I have some acquaintances that are not so different when they're discussing their life's work. Passion for a subject can display itself in many ways. It can often seem like an obsession to an outsider. What about you, Naoki? Do you think that you're like Mai? Perhaps. I think you're more chill. I honestly think you're more chill. I mean, he got his little cute moment where he was like, knowledge and pursuit of knowledge is like the one most passion in my life that I haven't had in a long time, and he got a little bit nerdy about it. But it's cute. It's cute. Like he kind of like livened up a little bit when he was talking to us about it. But he wasn't exactly like, I don't know, like so starry-eyed compared to like Cherizel and like Mai just now. Jin would probably say so. But I try to keep my quest for knowledge as pure as possible. Never for personal motivation only, but for the advancement of the world as a whole. Wow. I believe that will always keep me from going astray. Good on you! Good on you! For the greater good! We lapse into a comfortable silence as I watch the streetlights go by. Naoki turns on some light jazz, and I soon find myself drowsily in thought. Some smooth jazz for your soul! I ponder about a lot of things on the ride home. Cherizel, the cult, Mai, Atlantis, Muir, and about Naoki and even myself. All I know for certain is that I want to find the truth behind all of this. I do too, and stop whatever dangerous cogs that I might have set in motion. Yeah, next evening. Aurelia calls for a Dawn team meeting to discuss everything they had learned and the prophecy Naoki and she had obtained. Okay? Once again, I find myself sitting in the Okura's grand dining room. We've just finished dinner, and everyone came except Katsunosuke, who, as usual, is late as hell. Well, while we had Mai's translation of the prophecy, Naoki and Iulius had insisted upon translating it themselves. Apparently, they both know Latin. I shouldn't be surprised, right? I would figure too. Like, they had been working to decode it properly since last night, but apparently had finished since they were here now. Okay. They were talking amicably about wine or something now, like the two old men they are. Cillian stands at the door to the balcony, watching over the grounds. Jun has his phone out and is watching some kind of news video. Bored by the others, I find myself inching my chair over to Jun to watch the video with him. I peek below his arm, trying to sneakily see the video. Jun, of course, notices immediately. Before I realize what's happening, Jun just smoothly lifted his arm above my head, pulling me a little closer. Cute! Jun, what the hell? You wanted to see better, didn't you? You're totally taking advantage of the situation. I mumble, but can't really argue that I wasn't trying to see, right? Naoki stops mid-sentence and I feel his and Iulius' eyes on me and Jun. I do my best to ignore all of it and instead focus on the screen. Reports of sudden mass attacks are happening not only in Chowa district but all around Japan. My stomach sinks seeing an image of the hoodies the cult wears. Oh, all over Japan now? Right? Oh my god. This shit spread really fucking fast, right? Jesus. Perhaps these are organized attacks that were planned a long time ago. That would make the most sense, considering the speed of all this. Those carrying out the attacks are allegedly from a group calling themselves the Cult of Muir. You may have seen the cult distributing their propaganda in public before. They preach of a utopia, a promised land where all will be accepted, yet these attacks have severely injured many innocents. One of the victims in today's attacks, now identified as Cherizel de la Croix, is a bartender at the local's favorite Fox's Tail bar. Oh wow, is she dead though? What? Sherry? But we just saw her last night. It's true though, huh? Finally you showed up. I just saw her myself. Katsu strides through the doors of the dining room with so much flair as usual. He's clearly agitated, but he stops to look at Jun and I, and the entire air changes around him. What? Are you two having sex already? Wow. Jun just he did the whole overarm thing where it's just casually just puts his arms around our shoulders shit, and it's already Katsu's just ooh, you two banging? Shut up. What? No way. Realizing the position Jun and I are in, I definitely slide out of Jun's arms. What, are you jealous you can't bang anybody? Oh, how dare you? Okay, why can't you? Why can't you? Yeah, why can't you? Did it fall off or something? I love it, we're just goading him on. Absolutely not. It's because of that demon bitch, Azucena? Oh. Cherizel just confirmed to me that jar she delivered had a curse on it, but not from her. It can only be from Azucena. Well, that's what you get for sleeping around with too many women who has the history of scorning people once you leave them. You should be careful on which women you pick from now on, Katsu. I'm not sure whether I'm impressed with Azucena or not. That she went through all the trouble to actually curse him from having sex. You slept with her, didn't you? Yeah, that's so gross. Katsu shrugs. Sometimes urges come, and you use whomever is willing. Oh my god, what a slut, you slut. And he's just yeah. You were her first choice, actually. Oh. Ugh, fuck no. Who is this Azucena? We haven't really met her before. That's even more disgusting. A curse? Which one? Curse of heroin or something. Ah, the Curse of Hera. Ahahaha, what does it do? It's a demon curse that causes excruciating pain to both the curse and the object of the victim's lust. Okay. It will eventually kill the person who is cursed through the infliction of severe burns. Oh. It's perfect for those who are jealous or have been scorned, right? Katsu, if you're going to go around and sleep with women or sleep with somebody, you at least be careful. At least be a little bit more careful. Pick people who won't curse you. Are you a walking dictionary? Basically. It kills them. I'm not sure even Katsu deserves that. I don't. That's why I went to go see that succubus, to see if she could remove it. Unfortunately, she was barely conscious as it was, so I'll have to try again later. What happened to her? She and her friends were attacked in broad daylight. It seemed like it was by the Cult of Muir itself from what I could gather. Naoki and I look at each other. Yep, it must be the other faction. Some family business pulled me away anyway. Kasa'ima businesses are suddenly being attacked by the cult as well. Well, why? What the hell? Yeah, I wonder why. Yeah, I can only assume it has to do with our association with water. Or perhaps it's just because I'm associated with you. But beyond that, I couldn't begin to guess. Everything seems like it's turning into a hot mess, right? It absolutely does. Yeah, indeed. On that note, I think we should explain what we learned yesterday. I nod and Naoki begins to speak. Together, we explain everything that Jinsel told me yesterday. We share what we learned from Cherizel and Mai and everything that had happened. Then Iulius puts a paper on the table. It's the prophecy that Mai gave us. Okay, let's read it. Okay. At a time, before the fall, the beginning and the end, the order and peace reigned. The glory protected the first one's lands, but it is from the light of their own to protect them. Pride and curiosity brought about its downfall, and it comes in the fall of many. A moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the all perish except the dread of some others. Her heart stopped and lost to all that. Aphrodite completely changed him. He locked it, turned the game. What the fuck? This is a shitty translation job, bro. And sleep. Cultures will rise up, and he shall give him will fall off. Dawn will come and deliver him. When they feel will give him. It will be what wakes him of his brothers. The soul of the sea, if our hearts do not have to be careful not to, Aphrodite will dissolve the earth. By his power the seas are suddenly gathered together of the heart to spare the blood of the world. I did not get any of that. That was a shitty ass job translating. What does it all mean? Yeah, what am I looking at here? Exactly, I'm with you, Katsu. This makes zero sense, yeah. This is the version Mai gave us. Naoki came to me to ask if I could help in translating the prophecy the researcher gave us. It was hard to understand, awkward to read at best, yeah. Okay, so it's like, yeah, it's purposely like that, but like, damn, holy shit. Plainly put, he felt like something was off, and I agreed. We translated it from the Latin version ourselves, and came up with a more grammatically correct translation. But now we are left with wondering if we have translated it correctly. I know, right? It seems to indicate that Muir is a threat to the world. Yes, our version suggests that finding this heart of Atlantis will spare the blood of the world. But Mai's version is more unclear overall. That just adds to the confusion. Now we must ask ourselves, is our meaning as we take it the correct one? And why was a translation from academic of Mai's caliber so vague? Was Mai just terrible at Latin or something? Yeah, I don't know. It's difficult to believe so when the translation was otherwise accurate. It was just written in a confusing manner. I'm unclear if that was her personal interpretation, given she knows more about Atlantis than us. It'd be best if we could translate the Atlantean version she gave us, but none of us knows Atlantean. I will ask some of my colleagues, but I have little hope that anyone will know the language of a city that most people believe is a myth. Yet, that prophecy is all we've got right now, isn't it? Mai said that Muir was dormant. But if he was, I think Pax and I definitely woke him up when we stumbled onto Atlantis. Yeah, he must have been the voice I heard back then, that screamed in my head. All I know is that he sounded pissed. So, possibly confirming that he's a threat to the world isn't really what I wanted to hear. For real. Agreed. How does one stop a god? With another god! I don't know. I think we need to get the purest version of this prophecy that we can. Hell if I know whether it's real or not, but it's the best chance of telling us what we're dealing with, right? That is true. The original may have contained more details on how to be victorious against him. That's all true, but the cultists are in disarray and don't seem to know anything. And the researcher said she didn't know more about Muir. Without knowing Atlantean, or being able to find out more about Atlantis, Naoki, with a rare showing of looking frustrated, sighs. At the moment, we may be at a dead end. Maybe we can ask somebody from the Dragon Water Call, hello? Well, what about Mai? I mean, I know what she said, but she spent years studying Atlantis. She must know more than this. Yeah, how do we know this researcher isn't keeping shit from us anyway? Yeah, that's true. She gave us some confusing-ass prophecy, even though this is supposed to be her life's work. And she's supposedly literally the only one who knows anything about Atlantis, but she doesn't know anything about Muir? Think I'll look into her tonight. Okay, Naoki nods. Sounds like a good idea. If anyone can find anything on her, it's Jun. Okay. The meeting seems to have drawn to a close. Almost everyone moves to stand when Cillian speaks. Wait. Oh, I have one more piece of information that might be helpful. Okay. Everyone stops and stares at the usually quiet night. What's up? About the Atlantean language. Oh, I may have seen King Aogan reading such a book. King, you mean back in Avalon? Cillian nods, looking uncomfortable as if he was spilling some deep dark secret. Yes, in the Royal Library there exist some books about Atlantis. I do not know what is there, but the Alpha have myths about it too. I believe Atlantean may derive from Avalonian languages. Ooh. I thought perhaps it may be of help. Okay. I'd have hoped you'd tell us something like that sooner. Yeah, like any time during the entire freaking investigation we've been doing on Atlantis. Like Katsu's actually done any research. Even Iulius looks annoyed. It would have indeed been helpful to know this at any time prior. Cillian looks down, guilt coloring his face. I am sorry. I assumed that every culture has its myths about it, none any more accurate than the others. Alright, stop it you guys, he gets it. You've jagged him enough. It's hard to know what's useful to share when near everything about the damn place is myths or rumors. At least he told us now, and it sounds like it'll be seriously useful information, along with whatever Jun might find. Right? In fact, I just realized. Mai mentioned something about kelpies yesterday. Ah, that's right. She mentioned that they were in Atlantis. And they're normally only in Avalon. So technically, this is not our first link between Avalon and Atlantis. Do you think Atlantis is in Avalon? Like some part of Avalon? Oh my god. I can't believe I let myself forget that. You were up all night working on that, bro. And I know you've barely been getting any sleep again. No one's perfect. Anyway, this just proves that that chick knows more than she's letting on about Atlantis. So thanks, Cillian. Yeah, that was a huge help. Standing up, Cillian presses his closed hand to his chest and bows. Man, every time I forget this gentle guy is a real knight, he does something like that. Cillian's action unofficially signals the end of the meeting. We all file out of the dining room for the night, deep in our own thoughts. Okay, and that ends Chapter 4! Chapter 5 is Waves! Okay. Waves! Anyways, we're gonna end this that means we're gonna end this episode here, you guys. Again, you guys might not know. I'm gonna repeat it one more time. I'm going to keep this playthrough of Mystic Destinies Echoes as a chapter per one episode per chapter, just to keep things a lot organized and just so that we don't run overtime on things. The only time I will put together 2 chapters in one go is if the chapter is really like obviously short. Like if I feel like it's too short, then like I'm just gonna throw in an extra chapter in there, but otherwise it's gonna be 1 chapter per episode. But hey, anyways, we got more information about Atlantis. We're getting a little bit of a headway with this thing, kind of, sort of. So I'm assuming this episode or this chapter will go into, like, I guess, going back to Avalon and doing some investigation there, since there's a clear link between Atlantis and Avalon, and like the language as well too. So we're gonna work towards getting a proper translation of the prophecy. So yeah, I guess we'll find out that in the next time. Anyways, guys, thank you guys so much for watching and for being super patient as well. And I'll look forward to this next chapter. But for now, bye.